Hello and welcome to this Kubota video. This is the brake actuating assembly for the left hand side of my Kubota B7001 tractor. I have been struggling with brakes. It hasn't been braking that well, so I think I've mostly been using the right hand brake, and this one has never really been working. You can see that this part is quite thin, the part that goes into there, and it's all very rusty. I think water has gotten in and this has pretty much seized up. This piece here should be rotating freely. It is very stiff or inoperable. You should be able to easily enough pull this, and see, all I'm doing is pulling the pin. The actual arm is not moving, therefore I am not having any braking force in my wheel. So luckily my right hand brake has obviously been working well, and everything has basically been supported by the right hand brake, as well as when you park it you leave it in gear. But anyway, I do believe it gave a little bit of performance because I didn't always turn right around. It did do a bit, but it has gotten worse. So we have to take it apart, see if we can clean it out and investigate. This piece here, we probably have to replace that because it's, number one, rusted quite thin, number two, the hole has been elongated, number three, it's bent out of shape, and number four, not exactly giving much confidence to use. So, number one, to take this apart, probably either remove this spring, remove this piece over here, and then remove that circlip. Then we should be able to knock the assembly out, hopefully. So let's see if we can start by removing the spring. Okay, that didn't prove to be too difficult. However, I do think that this piece over here is going to be difficult. It looks to have been rusted into place. So we can spray some CRC on that, see if it works. It's on number 12. Okay, lucky the circlip was not rusted. So I've supported it on blocks so that hopefully can drop down after a few gentle taps, although I'm not that confident that a few gentle taps will work. Okay, gentle taps ended up working nicely. So those gentle taps work nicely. Now we can see if we can remove what is left of this little pin clip, and then remove this assembly and see what we can do regarding this stiff movement. So this pin also not exactly so great anymore. This piece here also not so great. It's got some O-rings that we can hopefully change, and then clean this all a bit up. Clean up inside there, and hopefully we can make this work again, although this piece here, not much left really that we can work with. Wow, it actually came off. That's quite a surprise. It's also coming off, so I don't know if that is just luck or if the CRC did its stuff. So this tractor has been repainted at some point, so part of the thread is actually painted. So before we continue, I will run a dye over the threads. Ooh, that's hot. You can see this part here has been painted. This is where the shaft was spinning in the vise. Okay, after a little bit of a struggle, that lined up nicely. Now we'll run it all the way down to clean up that thread. Right, it's not, the thread is nice and clean now. It is a bit rusty down at the bottom. So what I'll do, just to be sure, I'll contact that breaker's yard that I know about, see if they do have a complete setup of this, and see how much it costs. Again, Kubota parts are very expensive. Hopefully this is not the case for this part. So for now I'll clean up the other bits and pieces and then we'll continue on. Hello and welcome back to the workbench. Just to recap, I found a few pieces. You can see this one's a lot better. The previous one, it was all worn out and rusty, so that is gone. This is now better. Also, this pin is no longer acceptable for use. This pin is marginal. Both these washers are also scrap, so they are no longer to be used. I found another pin. This one still has lots of life that left into it, along with a matching washer. That means I'm still one pin short. So what have I done? I don't know where I have this piece from, but it is hardened steel. I drilled a hole into there, and then I'll cut this off, then find a washer, and we got a new pin. Hopefully that will work, and otherwise we'll have to actually find a new pin. Any case, that is that. Now we can put this arm back into place. So I've got some new seals on the O-rings, as well as some silicone grease. Silicone grease is compatible with rubber, so we should be able to put this all back together again. So here we've got this part. I cleaned up the inside, cleaned out the outside. Now that fits nicely and it's free to move. Now we've just got to put on the circlip around here. Got my circlip pliers. So just hold it in and just push it with a screwdriver. You'll know when it's seated where you can just spin the circlip. Which you can see I can spin the circlip, so the circlip is seated. The lever still moves smoothly, so that part is done. Now we can put on the brake shoes. Let's move this out of the way. Brake shoes are in place. So here we can see how it works with the lever actuates, pushes out the brake shoes against the drum, and then once you release the lever, both these springs as well as the spring on the rod will ensure that it returns to its resting position. Obviously now there's no drum to maintain this in place, so that's just an example. So it seems I've made my life actually a little bit more difficult than I should have. Should have probably put this piece on first, onto there, then attach this to the block. So we're going to try and see how difficult it is going to be to put this into place as it sits. So there's your advice before putting in the arm. Attach the, I think it's a U-joint connector or something like that first to save this hassle. But I think for now, so we're not struggling with the rod as well, we'll just disconnect that. Let's see. See, that's the easy part. But now, got to line up the circlip. Let me see if I bought the right ones. Okay, at least I bought the right circlip size. It's a 2mm. That was a little bit too long, but okay. That goes through there. Let's see. It's a bit of a tight space, so there's no real possible shot for the camera. In any case, through there. Then put the washer on. And line up the hole. Put the circuit through. Okay. We'll cut off the excess as these circlips are a little bit too long. Okay. In the end, wasn't too bad. I had expected worse. But we can see it's on. So that's that done. That. Now we can attach the rod. But probably easier to attach the rod on the tractor. Okay, so this is now ready to mount. So that's this part done. The same procedure goes for the other part, but I'm still waiting on the springs to arrive for those brake shoes. I ordered 2 because this one is rusty, so who knows when that one quits. But I don't know where the springs are coming from. If they're still coming from Japan or so, I do hope they arrive before the new year, as I am tired of having these tractors sit in my garage collecting dust. And I have a need for it quite soon. In any case, thanks for watching this part. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Join me on the next video. And if you want to see how this ends, please check out the other video.